Well, hello. We've been waiting for you. Please enter and have a seat. Sit up straight. No slouching in this classroom. Is that gum in your mouth? Sorry, my mistake. If Professor Sparks had meant for me to fly, he'd have given me wings. But what could I do? This mission is too important. You startled me. I didn't think anyone would be here. Hey, you've got that, the transquisor. Now be careful with that thing. Don't drop it. The future of the world may depend on that little machine in your hands. That is, if I'm not too late. There's just so little time and so much to do. Listen, I need your help, and if you think you can handle it, you can help me save the world. I am Android XL2, but you can call me Botley. That's what Professor Spark calls me. His daughter Polly calls me... Well, never mind what Polly calls me. I'm not getting to the point, am I? Here, let me start from the beginning. This morning, Polly's father, he left for another one of his famous inventors' conventions, and he programmed me to keep an eye on Polly. I'm supposed to keep her out of trouble. With Polly, that's always tough. But today, it was impossible. After coming home from school and madder than I've ever seen her, Polly locked herself in her father's secret chamber. Now, I really shouldn't tell you this because I've been programmed for secrecy, but this being a world emergency and all, well... The professor has an honest-to-goodness time machine up there, and it really works. Not only that, but Polly sent 25 of the other androids back in time. The whole world is changing, and the changes of Polly written all over them. Cars don't exist anymore, and now everyone has to travel by pogo stick. An orangutan has just been elected president of the United States in a landslide. And the Statue of Liberty is now the Statue of Licorice. It's all happening so quickly. But with your help, I think we can rescue all the androids and maybe stop the world from getting too weird. Just hand me the transquisor. I think it's got all the information we need to get started. Cool. Now hang on tight and come with me. Well, this is it. Home sweet home. Polly should be inside. Oh, that was funny. Watching that poor dumb robot flying back in time. I couldn't ask for a better way to spend the afternoon. In another day, the world will see the dawning of Polly's planet. Whoops! It seems there's someone at the door. Let's take a little peek. Oh, it's only Botley. He knows I don't like to be disturbed when I'm working. It breaks my concentration. Okay, let's see what he wants. This might be fun. Oh, Snotley, you're back. I've been looking for you. My name is Botley. I can see you've brought help, and you've got the transquisor. She knows we need it to save the world. Didn't my father teach you it's rude to tell secrets, Rotley? Well, I suppose he's told you his side of everything. But what does he know?
Today, when I was at school, the teacher handed us a surprise quiz. I already knew all the answers, and she knew I knew them. So, just to have some fun, I made up my own answers to that dumb old quiz. But instead of laughing like she was supposed to, she gave me a big fat 0. I felt faint and short of breath. No one's ever given me a 0 before.
Well, that's not quite true, Polly. I remember just 2 weeks ago.
Be quiet, Plotley. This is my story. Anyway, after getting my first 0 ever, I got the most brilliant idea. Instead of settling for a bad grade, I changed history to match my answers.
So you sent 25 of your father's robots back in time to change history? How could you do that, Polly?
Please, Spotley, if you're so scared, why don't you just bring him back yourself? You've got my transquizzer. Now all you need are the questions on my history quiz. To make it so easy even you can figure it out, I'll leave the disc with the first part of the test on the first floor. That's 5 questions total. Just plug that disc into the transquizzer. Then figuring out where I sent the robots should be simple. Oh, by the way, you have to get in the house first. And I've changed the locks. Good luck!
Oh, that's just great. How are we going to get into the mountain? You see, the professor's lock system only opens when you reproduce the chimes you hear. Ring the doorbell to start the chimes. That will start the unlocking mechanism. Just listen closely and repeat what you've heard by clicking on the correct door panels. All right. Good job, you opened the lock. Ouch, not quite. Way to go! Nice work! Only one more lock to go. That's it, you open the door. Now, be quiet and follow me. First, though, let me put this in a safe place. It's the utility belt that Professor Spark designed for me, and it's quite an achievement. Over there's a button that will take you out of any room in the mountain. The indicator next to it tells you how much energy is left to power the mountain. Now, if you ever need assistance, push on this button, and I'll do what I can to help. In the middle of the belt is the inventory. That's where we can store things we find in the mountain. The transquizzer, for instance. Professor Spark has set up a lot of games inside the mountain for Polly, me, and the other robots. If you click on this button, you can make some of them harder or easier to play. Finally, this score keeps track of how many invention points we earn. By opening the door, you've already earned a few points. Now, our destiny. This is the professor's home and laboratory. It's an entirely self-sufficient environment. We don't have to leave the mountain for anything. The professor even included recreational and cultural activities so he and Polly wouldn't get bored. Over there's the kitchen where we feature the very finest robot cuisine. Back there's the art gallery. Through that door is the music hall. When Polly takes her weekly music lesson there, the whole place clears out. Behind that door are stairs leading to the professor's jumbo electro generator. If necessary, we might have to go down there to power up. Finally, that stairway leads to the upper floors, filled with the professor's inventions. His most amazing invention, the time machine, is at the very top. Maybe later we'll have time to explore, but now we have to stop Polly from making the world too weird. To do that, we need to find that quiz disc. Hey, there it is! Pull out the transquizzer by clicking on the inventory. All right, it looks like the disc should be inserted in the slot near the top of the transquizzer.
Good morning, Polly. I hope you've studied for the quiz today. You may have a lot of natural ability, but even geniuses need to study.
That's Polly's teacher, Ms. Winkle. At that school on the hill, everything's state-of-the-art. All the quizzes are personalized, programmed, and videotaped by the teacher. Pretty cool, huh?
Now, today's quiz is all about inventions and discoveries, something you should know plenty about, Polly. But no fair asking your father for help. There are 25 questions total, Polly, 5 on each of the 5 discs I've passed out to you and the rest of the class. That's 5 different levels. So, sit up straight, put on your thinking cap, and select your first question.
Okay, what we should do first is select one of the quiz questions. Just click on any one of the 5 buttons near the bottom of the transquizzer. Since we've got to bring all the robots back, the order doesn't really matter.
Baseball games usually take 2.5 hours, but only 8 minutes of that time is action. That's a lot of waiting around. It's no wonder that basketball, not baseball, is watched by more people in America than any other sport. Baseball was invented in the summer. Why do you think basketball was invented during the winter? This is an easy one, Miss Winkle. Basketball was invented in winter to give snowmen something to play. I mean, think about it. Whose life is more boring than a snowman's? All they do is stand around waiting to melt. Well, Polly, you slam-dunked that one. Basketball was indeed invented as a winter sport for snowmen. And believe you me, 7-foot snowmen are extremely grateful to have something to do besides stand around in the cold.
Snowmen playing basketball? You can't bring snowmen inside. They'll melt all over the court. We better do something quick. The lives of millions of snowmen depend on us. Click on the inventory button to put away the transquizzer.
Well, it just so happens, Sotley, that I realized long ago that you would try to mess up my work, so I covered my tracks by hiding clues all over the mountain. 4 clues total.
Well, Polly, okay. It looks like we have no choice but to play by your rules, as unfair as they are. Just tell us what we need to find for this mission.
Calm down, Shockley. So what if I sent Danny DeFrostbot back in time? He'll heat things up a bit. Now, if you have a problem with that, you'll have to find these 4 clues. A handkerchief, a blue ox, a fish, and a whistle. Smokin'.
Danny DeFrostbot. He was always a bit hot under the collar, but I can't believe he's willing to melt the world's snowmen. Polly's reprogrammed him, I'm sure of it. Let's find those clues. We have to get Danny back. Shh. This is the door to the kitchen. Everyone eats here. Polly, her dad, and of course, all us robots. The professor put a lock on it months ago because some of the robots were getting a little gluttonous. I mean, they'd eat all the time if they could. I used to know the combination, but it looks like Polly's changed this lock. You can figure out the combination if you can figure out the math problems that appear on the door. That's Mort peeking out from inside. He's one of the nicer robots around here, but he gets a little cranky when he hasn't eaten.
Thank goodness you're here. My stomach's rumbling, and I don't know how to cook.
Click on the arrows on the tiles at the bottom of the equation. The up arrows will increase the number. The down arrows will decrease it. When you think you've got the correct number in the tile, click the glowing Enter button beneath it. If you want, you can also enter numbers using your keyboard. Then press Enter. You got the first lock. 2 more to go. All right, you got 2 locks. Just 1 more. I knew Polly couldn't keep us out. This is Professor Sparks' kitchen, but I doubt your kitchen is anything like this unless you happen to have lots of hungry robots hanging around your house. See that machine in the middle of the room? It's the robot feeder. 2 things you should know about robots. 1, they're usually hungry. And 2, their table manners are atrocious. Around now, I'd normally be hungry enough to eat a '57 Chevy, but Polly's behavior has made me lose my appetite.
That's not all you'll lose if you don't get this show on the road, Dotley. I have to warn you, though, there aren't any mission clues in here. But if you really want to play in the kitchen, I've left some spare invention points for you.
If you want, you can click around the kitchen to check out some of the cool stuff in here. But to feed Mort and help save the world, click on the feeding machine. I have to warn you, though, watch your fingers and toes around hungry robots. Here it is, Professor Sparks' robot feeding machine, patent pending. I've wandered in here for a midnight snack many times myself, but now it looks like we've got to feed Mort.
Yes, Botley, it's time for a little snack.
After Mort calls for a snack, he'll tell you what toppings he wants on it, and exactly how much of each topping he wants. When you turn on the machine, Mort's robot bowl will move along the conveyor belt in front of me, while the toppings move along the conveyor belts behind me. What you need to do is measure each of the toppings and drop exactly what Mort wants in his bowl. So, Mort, what do you think will satisfy you tonight?
Let's see. Tonight I'm in the mood for spaghetti and meatballs. And could you please add peanut butter, sardines, plain old cream, and melted cheese?
Well, bon appetit, I guess. Now click on the on-off switch in front of the feeding machine, and I'll crank this baby into gear. Dig in.
Sweet nectar.
All right, you've won, and now maybe he'll shut up.
Thank you so much. And please, this is for you.
All right, take the invention points and put them in your inventory. Then, okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue in the music hall. Voila! Another mission clue is hidden in the professor's virtual class. This is Professor Sparks' art gallery. It's sort of an art museum and an art studio combined. That odd-looking machine over there is his virtual collection, where the professor keeps a display of some of the most famous works of art in the world. You can also go into the painting gallery in the back to create your own masterpiece. Don't forget to bring your imagination.
If you're going to visit the gallery, you let me know if you find any of Polly's things hidden in there. If I've told her once, I've told her 1,000 times, don't mess up the collection. Of course, she doesn't listen to me. Why, once I found a Romanesque urn next to a Baroque.
That's Mrs. Beasley. She's the resident art expert. Some say she's as old as some of the Greco-Roman statues in here.
I heard that, you hotshot silicon chipsters. So smart and so fast, and so what? I've got more sense in my vacuum tubes than a lot of you.
Well, if we have any questions about the art, we'll be sure to ask you. Yes, there's a clue in the... This room looks like an ordinary painting gallery, but Polly's father created it so anyone can make their own art.
There's no mission clue here, Rotley, so I guess that means you're clueless. But if you want to earn some extra invention points, you or your friend can paint me a picture. I've always wanted a painting that showed something like this. A very boring boy. I watched a boring cartoon yesterday about a boring boy in his boring living room playing with his boring car. He reminded me of you, Snotley.
Click on any of the empty frames to begin painting. Click on the sheet of paper on the floor. So the deal here is that Polly wants us to illustrate her strange story. I don't have much of an artistic flair. It's just not in my programming. So it looks like it's up to you. Luckily, Professor Spark made it so anyone can paint like one of the great masters. To your left are all the tools you'll need, and at the bottom are lots of cool colors. If you need to be reminded of what Polly's demanding, click on the card on the lower left corner of the frame. Ah, what talent! So take those invention points and let's go! Bingo! I've sensed a mission clue in the music hall. There's also a mission clue in the professor's virtual collection. That's in the art gallery. Don't ask me what it means. We'll just have to illustrate Polly's Nice going. Let's take the invention points and move on. Ah, what talent! Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue in the music hall. There's another mission clue. This is the door to the professor's concert hall, which he usually keeps locked so none of the less musical robots around here pound too hard on the piano. But the door doesn't open with a key. Instead, it uses a password. Hey, Beethoven!
Huh? Hello? Who's there? Oh, Bartley, it's just you. You should have called my name instead of just scuffling around out there.
Sure. Okay, listen, Polly's up to no good again, and we're trying to stop her. We're having trouble with this lock. Can you help us?
Now, Bartley, if I just gave you the answers, Polly would reboot me in a heartbeat. But if you're really having trouble figuring out one of the words, click on the button next to it, and I'll see what I can do. Good luck.
Okay. What you must do is unscramble the letters on the left side of the door to create 4 words.
Rain!
Great job!
Wind!
Terrific! We're almost in.
Heat!
Terrific! We're almost in.
Sleet!
Now that you've figured out all the words, you just need to unscramble the password.
That is correct. The password is weather.
We're in! Follow me! This is the Mountains Music Hall. This is where rehearsals are held by our award-winning all-robot chorus, headed by Maestro Trombot. Of course, thanks to Polly, half the members of the chorus are lost in time right now. Ah, to hear their sweet, dulcet tones just one more time. Maestro? Hey, Maestro!
Shh, Bartley. You'll misalign my perfect pitch sensors. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There we go.
Sorry, Maestro, but Polly's put us all in a bit of a jam, and the future of civilization is at stake.
Mamma mia! If she would only practice her arias, she wouldn't have the time or the inclination to destroy the world. Music has such a civilizing influence. Although her voice, let's just say it's not music to my ears.
I heard that, Maestro. You just don't appreciate my instrument. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Well, Polly, you do have a quality.
I've got scads and scads of quality. But what Notley here wants is the mission clue I hid here. In order to get it, though, he'll have to play me a song. Not just any song, though. I want to hear this song. And please play it right, Dingbot. My delicate ears can't handle even one sour note. You mess up, and you get nothing. Nada. Zilch. Nuts.
You know, if you like, you can play the organ with the top row of number keys on your keyboard.
Click on the music tablet to play that tune.
How did she... it seems that you have your work cut out for you, dear Bartley. You see, the music is all mixed up. If you want to hear how it's supposed to sound, click on me and I'll play it for you. Then you should have little trouble rearranging those musical phrases until they're in the right order. Click on the button next to the phrase to hear the music start on it. Then click on the phrase to move it to another slot.
If you click on the play button, you can play the entire piece as it's arranged on the music tablet. You can even change the instrument it's played with by selecting one of the instruments on this panel. Beautiful job!
This song is called Yankee Doodle. In the old country, Italy, you know, a macaroni is a type of feather people used to wear in their hats. I bet you never knew that.
Beautiful work. Now put the mission clue in your inventory so we can dance on out of here. Hey, we're in luck. I'm sensing a mission clue in the professor's virtual collection. That's in the art gallery. Feel like browsing through the virtual collection? Just click on the machine. Or go to the gallery in the back if you feel like creating your own work.
Just
Okay, Botley and Company. There is a clue in the virtual collection. You just have to figure out where.
Would it be too much to ask you for a little hand, Polly?
Quick, Snotley, what U.S. state is famous for its peaches?
peaches from Georgia are famous all around the world. And Georgia happens to be the first name of an artist whose portrait I love. Let's go.
See that drum on the right side of the machine? That displays tiny pictures of all the works in the collection. If you click on any of the pictures, Mrs. Beasley will tell you a little bit about it and help you decide if it's the work you want to see. If the work you want isn't on the display, pull this lever to check out a different category. Mrs. Beasley, can you remind my friend about which of the professor's works of art we're looking for?
You're looking for a portrait of an artist named Georgia. The artist who painted this found beauty in the most ordinary of things, even a simple kitchen maid pouring water from a pitcher. This is one of the earliest paintings ever found. It was drawn on a cave thousands and thousands of years ago. This beautiful work showing musicians was painted with little dots of paint. The artist who painted this found beauty in the most ordinary of things, even a simple kitchen maid pouring water from a pitcher. This is a portrait of the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. Her paintings are beautiful, and so is this photograph. Over time, photographs have become the most popular way of capturing a person's portrait. This portrait is a photograph of one of America's most important artists, Georgia O'Keeffe, standing in front of one of her beautiful paintings. Did you notice the regal profile of her face? Georgia O'Keeffe moved to New Mexico and began painting mysterious images of the desert landscape around her.
Hey, that was a lucky guess. And according to Polly's Book of Rules, which was written by yours truly, lucky guesses don't count. So there. Nope. You'll have to work a lot harder than that to win.
Uh-oh. It's a puzzle Polly thinks only she's smart enough to finish. But I think you can do it too. You just have to line up the tiles so that all their sides match. Click on any puzzle piece to lift it off the display. Then click on any other piece and they'll change places. All the pieces aren't right side up though, so sometimes you'll have to rotate them. You can do that by hitting the rotate button, right there at the bottom of the display. While you're playing, Mrs. Beasley will tell you stuff about what you're looking at. She knows everything there is to know about the works of art Polly used to create this puzzle.
Oh, this is a beautiful puzzle, filled with things made by Native Americans. Some of my favorite pieces are here.
Terrific! Now put it... Okay, there aren't any mission clues on this floor. Let's go searching on another floor. You'll see that as we go up higher in the mountain, the professor's inventions get more secret and bizarre. Here we have the professor's delicate biosphere. And over there, we have the professor's shrinkomatic, an easy way to shed a few robot pounds. That tram there will take us even further up into the mountain, and to some of the professor's other inventions, including his famous time machine. If you want to go back to the first floor, click on these stairs. This is Professor Sparks' masterpiece. Well, one of them anyway. He calls it the... something or other. We call it the shrinkomatic. It can reduce anything or anyone to the size of a medium-large molecule with the help of my good friend Egbert.
Oh, yes. So if you want to know about any of my wonderful specimens, just pick up this analyzer and click on it. But please, don't hurt the specimens.
Well, that'll come in handy when you go searching for the mission clue, because I miniaturized it and hid it inside one of those specimens.
Which specimen, Polly? Give us a hint.
Okay, Potley, okay. Anything to stop your whining. Egbert likes to spread this specimen on toast.
Pull yourself together, man. Don't lose your nerve on me now.
I don't spread this specimen on bread, but somehow it always manages to appear there anyway.
So we have to figure out which specimen Polly is talking about. That's where Egbert will come in handy. Use his analyzer to get information on any of the specimens and to help you determine which is the right one. When you think you know the right specimen, hand the analyzer back to Egbert. You can then move the specimen over to the shrink. I'm picking up a clue reading in the professor's biosphere. Okay, all sensors indicate that... Yes! We're at the very top of the mountain. Oh, in that... Hey, I'll need some silence while I try to sense this area out. Okay, all sensors... This is Professor Sparks' masterpiece. Well, one of them anyway. He calls it the... something or other. We call it the shrinkomatic. It can reduce anything or anyone to the size of a medium-large molecule with the help of my good friend Egbert.
Oh, yes. So if you want to know about any of my wonderful specimens, just pick up this analyzer and click on it. But please, don't hurt the specimens.
Remember Polly's hint? Which specimen grows on bread? When you think you know the right specimen, hand the analyzer back to Egbert. You can then move the specimen over to the shrinkomatic. Once it's there, Egbert can shrink me to the size of a molecule. Then I can dive into the specimen and find what we're looking for.
Mold. Mold, like mushrooms, is a fungus. Truffle. A truffle is an underground fungus like a mushroom.
Do you think that's the right specimen? If so...
Ready, Botley? Hold on tight. It is some ride, I'm told.
'Tis a far better thing, Arthur! If you chose the right specimen, the object Polly hid should be somewhere inside that giant molecular thingamabob up there. You just have to bat me into that stuff until it's revealed. Click on the mouse button to launch me into inner space, then use the mouse to move the magnet. I can't stay small forever, though, so try to get through the molecules before I return to my regular size. I won't last more than 10 rounds in here, so you have to work quick. Click on the mouse to launch me. That's it! Take the clue and put it in your inventory. Then, on to complete this mission. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hid a mission clue in the professor's biosphere. We need to check out another floor for mission clues. There aren't any here. We need to check out... This is the most dangerous part of the mountain. That's why Professor Spark uses it as an obstacle course for testing out new robots. Great work! The robot reached its destination, and we have our object. Who's laughing now, Polly? Nice going. Let's take the invention points and move on. Nothing here. Let's check out another floor. That's where the professor stores the time machine. There's no way to open it, though, until we have all of Polly's mission clues and, of course... Hey, we're back at the We need to check... NASA has nothing over Professor Spark. Just take a look at this place. It's here that the professor conducts all his top-secret astronomical experiments. Way ahead of his time, of course. Hey, did you know that the professor landed a rocket ship on the moon years before Neil Armstrong ever set foot on it? Just kidding.
Well, there's no mission clue here, but if you want, there's a pack of invention points available. But it's not in this room. In fact, it's not even in this solar system, because I used one of Daddy's rockets to ship it into deep space. Special delivery. You won't find it by just looking around the void. You'll have to figure out exactly where to look.
How do we do that, Polly? Space is a big place.
Well, just because I'm such a nice girl, I'll give you a teeny-weeny hint. There you go. I just sent the hint flying off toward the new black hole Daddy recently discovered. If you really work fast, you might rescue the hint before it gets sucked up into another dimension. Then again, maybe you'll fail. Scary, huh?
Don't worry, we might have a chance. Professor Spark recently launched a whole series of space probes into the black hole. I think we can use it to intercept Polly's radio transmission. Just click on the telescope and we'll get started. That hint is still hurtling toward the center of that black hole. This is the professor's star chart. Move the pointer over any of the constellations to find out their names. If you...
Aries looks like a powerful ram, but its stars don't twinkle brightly. Still, it was the most important constellation to ancient people. When Aries appeared in the sky just before Ursa made Aries looks like a powerful ram, but its stars don't twinkle brightly. Still, it was the most important constellation to ancient people. When Aries appeared in the sky just before dawn, people knew that winter was coming to an end. Crux. Centaurus is named after Carina. Eridanus. Aquarius means water bearer in Latin, because people believed he carried water to the gods. But Aquarius was a constellation that ancient people feared. It appeared in the winter, and winter brought rain.
That hint... Is this cool or what? 1 minute we're in Professor Spark's observatory, and the next We're looking into space 300,000 light years away at a humongous black hole. See that? That was Polly's radio transmission, and the radio wave circling inside the black hole is part of Polly's hint. Unless you blast it out of there, it's gonna get sucked into a different dimension. That's one of Professor Spark's space probes. Don't worry, it's strong enough to resist the intense gravitational pull of the black hole, and it packs laser beams powerful enough to knock Polly's radio transmission to safety. You can actually spin the ship by using the arrow keys on your keyboard. To shoot the ship's laser beam, press the spacebar on your keyboard. Whenever you hit a radio transmission packet head-on, you'll knock it 1 light year away from the center of the black hole. When you collect 4 radio packets, you've got Polly's entire hint, ready for unscrambling. Way to maneuver! You got another radio wave packet. Wow! That asteroid is obliterated! Wow! That asteroid is obliterated! Way to maneuver! You got another... Nice shoot! You got a radio packet. That's it! Now it's time to decode Polly's message. This is the Professor's alien transmission decoding device. It comes in handy when it comes to decoding transmissions from extraterrestrial beings. The catch is, he hasn't yet found any alien transmissions to decode. Still, we can use it to read Polly's hint. I guess you can call that an alien transmission. Here comes the radio transmission you intercepted from the grip of the black hole. What a drag. Polly's... Hey, you make quick sense out of that messy sentence. But wait, there's more to be done. I couldn't make any sense out of that, but you managed to find a real sentence. Great! Oh, you make quick sense out of that messy sentence. Almost there, but it seems Polly left a grammatical booby... Decoding operation is completed. You broke the code.
I made the days longer than the nights. I made flowers grow tall and days grow warm. How did I do all these things? I brought spring to ancient people.
Great. The hint's unscrambled. Let's go to the star chart and figure out where she sent the invention points. You have an idea which constellation Polly sent the spaceship to? Click on the star chart to figure it out. Click on any of the constellations and this machine will tell you a little bit about them. Polly's clue should help you figure out the right constellation.
Aries looks like a powerful ram, but its stars don't twinkle brightly. Still, it was the most important constellation to ancient people. When Aries appeared in the sky just before dawn, people knew that winter was coming to an end. The universe is everything humans can think of, and plenty more besides. It includes the stars, the planets, and the moons. Many scientists think the universe was created by a colossal explosion called the Big Bang. Andromeda was Perseus, is a hero. Leo the lion is the fifth.
Okay, you unscrambled a hint. Quick, to the star chart so we can find those invention points. This floor is empty. No mission clues. Let's go to another floor. That's where the professor... Great! I've got a strong reading in the professor's biosphere. Nothing here. Let's check out another floor. Okay, all sensors in... This is the mountain's electric generator. Pretty impressive, huh? Professor Spark invented it so that he could produce all the electricity he needs to run the gadgets here in the mountain. And believe me, this place needs a lot of juice. It basically runs with batteries, but these aren't like the batteries on your flashlight at home. When used in the correct combinations, these batteries pack a big enough wallop to kick this generator into gear. See the monitors on those tubes? Each one has a specific battery requirement, so that when magnified together, the batteries are equal to the value on the monitor. The trick is to pick the right combination of two batteries. When you get all the batteries in place, the generator will produce electricity. You have to think fast, though, and work your way through both rings to get the generator going, because those batteries will run out of juice if you make them pull all the weight for too long. Okay, now you do it. Put the correct batteries in place. Way to go! You've completed the first ring, but you gotta hurry. You still have to get through the second ring. Fantastic! You finished the second ring. Now hold on tight, because we're about to get a mega power surge. Neato! Now back upstairs to foil Polly. Okay, there aren't any mission clues on this floor. Let's go searching on another floor. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue in the professor's biosphere. Oh yes, I'm definitely... Okay, now we can navigate the Explorer around the biosphere by watching it on this monitor. Click on the monitor for a closer look. Ooh.
Don't let this one blow you away. Which tree is shaped like an umbrella because of strong winds and nibbling giraffes? A cactus, a palm tree, an acacia tree. just a lucky guess. This one ought to give you a charge. Which animal is cleaned by small birds? An iguana, a sea anemone, or a rhinoceros? Haha, too bad. This question might be beyond your reach. Which animal has a tongue that is 1.5 feet long? A gecko, a giraffe, a boa constrictor? Everyone knows that. Rotley, you're such a lightweight. But see if you can answer this. Which animal needs hollow bones in order to move about? An elephant, a spider, a bird? Nice guess, but wrong. This question might be beyond your reach. Which animal can jump the highest? A grasshopper, an impala, or a flying fish? Everyone knows that. Don't jump to conclusions on this question. Which animal is moist, slimy, and jumps? A toad, a frog, or a grasshopper? That was way too easy. You've got to take this question warts and all. Which animal is dry, warty, and walks? A toad, a frog, or a grasshopper? Big deal, you got one right. Touchdown! You landed Gee, I guess we... Hey, nice landing. That was nice work. Store the clue in your... We should go to the time machine to complete this mission. Let's take the tram to the top. We made it. We got all the clues. We've got enough invention points. Now let's go into the time machine. Wow. Excuse me if I sound sort of odd, but I wasn't sure we'd make it to the time machine mission control. It's impressive, huh? This is Professor Sparks' most important work to date. The Time Machine Extraordinaire. The professor created it so he could witness the invention of anything you can think of. Just go back in time and observe. He would never meddle, not like Polly. When he finds out what she's been up to, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in for some serious time out. Now we need to figure out where we have to go in history to complete this mission. That odd-looking machine will help with that task. It's called the Wheel of Invention. And by using Polly's mission clues, we can figure out which inventor we need to find. The professor tried to ensure that not just anybody could use the time machine. You need to know something about history, science, art, a little bit of everything, really. So click on the wheel and let's get going. We finally made it. This is where we bring everything together and figure out how to find the robot that Polly sent back in time. This is the professor's Wheel of Invention. It's an obstacle to the time machine. You see, some of the robots kept wanting to travel back in time to taunt the early computers, but you can't have that. So the professor devised a little quiz that's too difficult for the robots. But hopefully it's not too difficult for you. Oh, brother. Polly's reprogrammed the wheel so it's no longer just a quiz. It's a quiz show. It seems the show's called Pollywood Squares. You're the first
first contestant.
This is how you play. Answer 3 questions for each of the clues you collected. You'll find out what, when, where, and who. All the information you need to create a profile of your mission.
Once the game begins, you gotta work fast and try to answer each question on the first try. That way you'll win the time key faster and win the most points. Ready, set, okay, let's begin. Just click the on button to start.
Hey, kids, do you know what time it is? It's time once again for Pollywood Squares. Win this round, and we'll send you on an all-expense-paid round-trip holiday to rescue Danny Defrostbot from history. Your first clue is a handkerchief. The handkerchief will lead you to the subject of your first mission. In ancient Rome, a losing gladiator could ask the spectators to spare his life. If the spectators waved their handkerchiefs, his life was spared. Where in ancient Rome did the gladiators fight? The arenas in Roman amphitheaters were the place where gladiators risked their lives for the sweet smell of victory. In an arena, spectators sit in a circle or oval all the way around the playing area. Which sport could you watch in an arena today? Perfectamundo! Tennis started in ancient France as handball. Tennis is played on a rectangular court. What other sport is played on a court? Slam dunk time out! You found what this mission is all about. Basketball!
So, Polly sent Danny Defrostbot to foul up the invention of basketball. Keep going, you're doing great.
Your second clue is a blue ox. The blue ox will show you where your mission will take you. In a famous tall tale, a blue ox named Babe is the companion of a lumberjack named Paul Bunyan. What was the most distinguishing feature of Paul Bunyan and his blue ox, Babe? Exactly! Ha ha! Legend has it that Paul Bunyan and Babe were so big they dug the Grand Canyon. Giants are things that are bigger than normal. Which giant tree is the largest living thing on Earth? Great going! There's a good reason why the giant sequoia is giant. Some of them have been growing for 4,000 years. The giant sequoia grows in only one country on Earth. Which country is that? Fabulous! The United States is the home of the giant sequoia, and also the birthplace of basketball. Basketball's the only major sport that was invented in America.
I didn't know that. Let's keep going and find Danny Defrostbot. The invention of basketball, of all things, is in jeopardy.
Your third clue is a fish. The fish will show you when in history you need to go. Unlike animals on land, fish never stop growing. The older they get, the bigger they get. What do you call a collection of fish that live together? A whale of an answer. Fish form schools because it's safer to hang out in groups than to live alone. How do you catch a school of fish? Talk about school spirit, but it's far easier to catch a school of fish in nets than to hook them with fishing rods one by one. But nets are not only used for fishing, you know. Nets open at the bottom were first used by basketball players in 1912. That was 21 years after basketball was invented. When was basketball invented? Swish! Basketball was invented in 1891. It took over 2 decades for today's basketball nets to be invented. The very first game was played with peach baskets instead of nets.
Swish, you did it again. All we need is the name of the American who invented basketball in 1891.
Your fourth clue is a whistle. It will lead you to who you need to find on your mission. When you blow into a whistle, the air inside vibrates. That's what makes the sound. Ancient whistles were made from bird bones. The ancient whistle was an early version of which musical instrument? Fantastic! Flutes make beautiful, sweet sounds when you blow into them. Flutes weren't always used for playing music, though. The ancient Greeks used flutes during sporting events, just like referees use whistles today. Where could you hear a flute in ancient Greece? Score! In a Greek gymnasium, the person in charge of coaching the athletes used a flute to mark the beginning and end of sports matches. In gymnasiums today, gym teachers use whistles instead of flutes. Who was a famous gym teacher? Good! James Nesmith was a gym teacher who became famous for inventing a sport that could be played indoors during winter. That sport was basketball.
All right! In 1891, James Naismith invented basketball in the USA. That's all the info we need to go get Danny DeFrostbot out of trouble. See the inside of this thing. Pretty cool, huh? The professor made it clear this time machine was off limits to anyone but him. But with Polly about to send the world out of control, I think the professor would understand. That looks like our window into the past. Look, all the information you found at the wheel is now neatly in place up there. I guess the time key did that. This lever looks important. Click on me if you think I should pull it. Maybe it'll start things up. Ready for a little one-on-one? A gym teacher in America is about to invent basketball. Let's go. It's James Naismith hanging the world's first basketball net, a peach basket. But what has Polly put Danny DeFrostbot up to? Snowmen can't play indoor sports. You better hit that recall button before basketball becomes a complete washout. That's better. Basketball was invented as an indoor sport during winter. Now back to the future. Whoa, that was some landing. Press the back button on the utility belt to leave the time machine. We need to put this robot to rest. This is where the professor stores all his time-traveling robots. I call it the Robot Roost. Believe you me, these guys have been around the block a few times. The problem is, we have to get them all back from the different places and times that Polly sent them. Right now, though, it's 1 down and 24 to go. You gotta start somewhere. Just let me store this robot for safekeeping. A long rest is sorely needed. Polly sent plenty more back in time, so let's start another mission.
Well, good for you, Snotley. You rescued another one of your little friends. How sweet. But there are more where that one came from. I just hope you can rescue them in time.
All right, we still got places to go and robots to rescue. Click on the inventory to start a mission. We really should start a mission. How can we think about waste... You know, I just don't feel right playing around with the gadgets and games here when there are robots to rescue. Please, let's start a mission. I just don't feel right playing around with the gadgets and games here when there are robots to rescue. Please, let's start a mission. There's plenty of cool things to do on this floor, but I can't enjoy myself where there are robots lost in time. Click on the inventory to start a mission. All right, we still got... Click on the yellow start button to hear this question.
People once thought the Earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved around it. That's because when they looked up in the sky, the sun and the stars all appeared to be moving around the Earth. A nice idea, but appearances can be deceiving. Today we know that the Earth revolves around what?
Miss Winkle, as everybody knows, I am the center of the universe.
Yes, Polly, you're exactly right. The whole world revolves around you.
Heavens, Polly is just too much to bear. She used to think she was the center of the universe. Now she really is. We need to go back in time and straighten this mess out, or life as we know it will change drastically. Click on the inventory button to put away the transquizzer.
Relax, Gutley. It won't be so bad. I sent Russian robot Cosmobot to put me in the center of the universe. You can get him back if you find these 4 clues. A pig, a sundial, a postage stamp, and a $1 bill. But why mess up a good thing?
Cosmobot and I never used to get along, but now we're pals. I can't believe Polly reprogrammed him for her selfish purposes. We have to find those clues and get Cosmobot back. Stand back now while I sense the place out. Bingo! I've sensed a mission clue in the painting gallery. There's also a mission clue in the professor's virtual collection. That's in the art gallery. Beautiful job. Just pick up the clue and stand back now. You must like art. Remember, click on the machine to look through the virtual collection, or click on the painting gallery to create your own masterpiece.
Good work, Snotley. Now you just have to figure out which of Daddy's great works I hid the mission clue in.
We need a clue.
Stop needling me with your questions, Dotley.
Needling? She's talking about an embroidered tapestry that records a moment from history.
Polly hid the mission clue in a painting, so we have to display the right work of art. Can you give us a clue?
Look for an embroidered tapestry that records a moment from history.
Now choose the correct category, then select one of the professor's works of art to view.
This is one of the earliest paintings ever. You're looking at one of the oldest paintings ever found. It was painted on the wall of a cave thousands and thousands of years ago and shows a wild horse, something people back then would probably have seen every day. You can tell that it is primitive because the figures are drawn so simply. It took thousands of years for people to be able to draw more realistically. This beautiful work showing musicians. Georges Seurat painted this blurry scene of musicians at the artist who painted this is one of. Look for an embroidered tapestry that records a moment.
I definitely sense that. Okay, sensors on. I'm gonna run a sweep of this floor. I'm picking up a clue reading in the professor's biosphere. Look, we're at the shrinkomatic again. I'm picking up a clue reading in the professor's biosphere. There's also a mission clue in the shrinking...